Oh yeah, we're making pulled pork at the Gilson house. Look at that in the crock pot. Just threw it in with all the ingredients. Oh, it smells so good already. I can't wait. Yeah, I can't wait. Oh yeah, so we have that wonderful pork shoulder. Ooh, in my crock pot. It's like in the low 40s today. Cloudy. Just the perfect day. And I'll tell you, the smell is just permeating the whole Gilson house. It smells divine. Yeah. So I was thinking about smoking in two different pipes here. And the first one is this Hilson bowl number 018. And I'll tell you, look, I was digging through some of my pipe racks because some of them, they're not sitting right out. So I don't look at the pipes sometimes in some of my pipe racks for years at a time. I don't know, probably about 4 years ago, I bought this Hilson Moon Dial. Yeah, look at that, man. Look at the briar. Not one factory fill. Look at that. Oh, it's all bird's eye. Then in the front, it goes to flame grain. Look at that. And then on the other side, it goes back to bird's eye and a little flame grain. That is a gorgeous pipe. And the draw on this is phenomenal. It's a 9 millimeter. All right. It's just, oh. But I also was thinking about buying one of the first Dr. Graybows that I bought. Actually, this one is the second one. It's a Dr. Graybow Omega pipe, and that's got some nice briar on it too. No factory fills. Very rarely smoke this one. It's got a P-lip, and then you take her apart, and that one I think is 6 millimeter. Yeah, both great pipes. But man, the briar on that Hilson Moon Dial. Let's see if I can get it to focus on it. Oh yeah, there we go. Look at that. Look at that. That's a gorgeous pipe. This is my favorite color. Right here, like a blonde. Oh man. But instead, we're going to smoke some General Grant cigars. And these actually are 5 inches long by 42 gauge. They're made in the Dominican Republic. You can get them, well, it's hard to get them sometimes. I had to wait like 2 years before I could get, a second box of them. And they come in this nice little Spanish cedar box. Yeah. There's General Grant. He was noted to smoke 20 cigars a day. Yeah, nice little box. And like you said, made in the Dominican Republic. 30 of them. And to get them to my door was like $45. It was like $32.99 or $34.99 plus tax and shipping. So that's what we're going to smoke, and I've got one right here. Now, they're not pretty cigars made on purpose. They're made to resemble the cigars that were made in the United States in the 1800s. Yeah, but let me tell you, these I've actually had, and Mark Hill hates it when I store my cigars in mason jars. He hates it. No, put them in Belvita packs. But I got these actually 3 years ago. Let's set it on fire. What a great cigar. The nice thing I like about these, not only is the taste unbelievable. I love Dominican Republic tobaccos. But it's not a Churchill where it's 8 inches long by 60 gauge, where it's going to take you 4 hours to smoke. You can sit and puff on one of these, and if you happen to be a cigarette smoker, they're mellow enough you can inhale them. Yeah. So my pulled pork recipe, which I found online, and then of course I adapt into, those recipes into what I want. It does call for a 4-pound roast. I had a 3-pound shoulder, pork shoulder, all pre-packaged and with all the barbecue sauce on it and spices and so forth. And so it calls for 12 ounces of Coca-Cola, not Diet Coke, regular Coca-Cola. And what that does is the Coca-Cola it's acidic, man. It breaks the meat down so it's so tender. And then it gives it a little sweetness. And then you put some ground onion in it, and a little ground chili powder, a little bit of ground garlic, and then of course a little salt and pepper and so forth. And I've made this before. It comes out to die for. Yeah. These are smooth though, and they burn pretty nice. Like I said, they're not perfect. I mean, they're not something that you'd spend. It works out. They're about $1.25 per cigar per stick. Well, by the time you figure with shipping, if you're in the United States, I think for 30 of them I paid $45. With tax, shipping, the whole bit. Well worth it. Just a nice, smooth cigar. And as you age them, they even get better and better and better. But that's the way they made cigars here in the United States. It wasn't like, in Mexico or Brazil or, some of the other countries, Cuba, Dominican Republic, Honduras, where they make them perfect. These are kind of lumpy. But that's the way they were made here in the U.S. Like I said, in the 1800s. Let's get that ash off of there. So we're smoking beer. Okay. We're drinking some Holland 1839. This is imported from Holland. It's a lager beer. It's 5% alcohol. I don't like those. I mean, my neighbor will drink these beers that are 9, 10, 11, 12, 13% alcohol, and it's like, God, and they're full of, a shit house of hops. And barley, it's just... So, cheers. So went in Saturday at 6 a.m. to work. My plant manager, my boss, he asked me, he's like, look, do you think you can come in and help us out? And I said, yeah. The guy treats me really great because, you go in there, the guy respects hard work. He's in his early 60s. And he respects hard work. The guy rewards me when it comes time for my reviews and raises and stuff. So I couldn't say no. I really didn't want to go in. But I did. And it's funny, he starts making his rounds, and it was about 9 o'clock, and I figured it was time for a cigarette break. And so I'm not too far from the door exiting, one of the exit doors where I'm working. I just spark up a cigarette right in the factory. There's like 10 people there. Nobody's going to give a shit. In fact, I was told by some higher ups that may or may not own the company that it's okay to smoke on Saturdays in the factory. They may or may not have said that. As long as you don't put cigarette butts on the floor, which is asinine anyways. So I'm sitting there and I'm on my phone, leaning up against this workbench. I got a cigarette hanging out of my mouth. I'm on my phone. And he comes up and he's like, hey, what are you doing, Paulie? He's like, I'm just taking a 5-minute cigarette break. Been working here since 6 o'clock. It's 9 o'clock. Normally every couple hours we get a break. And he's like, well, maybe you ought to be a little closer to the door, And I didn't want to get into, well, so-and-so said we could smoke in here. I just didn't want to do that. This is the type of guy that likes to be in control. He's fair. But he doesn't want to hear anything. When he says something, yes, sir, you got it. So then he walks over to the other laser operator. The kid's sitting back in his chair. He's running a job, so he's working. He's kicked back in his chair with his feet up. He's got his hat tilted all the way down over his nose, and he's sleeping. He goes up and he's like, hey, man, Vinny, what's going on? Oh, I'm just running this job here, just waiting. The guy just shook his head. My plant manager just shook his head. He must think we're a bunch of imbeciles. It's all right, no. We get the job done. Oh, yeah. I'll tell you what, these General Grants are phenomenal cigars. I love them, man. They're just smooth. That's what they are. But make sure that you get the 42 gauge ones. They do offer a 32 gauge, which they're almost as thin as a cigarette. I like these ones, 42 gauge. My favorite cigar shape, though, would be a Robusto, which is 5 inches long and it's 50 gauge. Those are perfect by the campfire. What sort are these? Yeah, so Scott, Mr. Hoosier Marshall from Indiana, is helping me out with making the intro to my YouTube videos. He's helped me out a couple hours, so I'm going to send him a little special something that he's really going to like. One hand washes the other. That's the way it goes. So now I just got to figure out, and you may have seen the intro that I put on YouTube. It's 18 seconds. I did it yesterday. I asked him though, I says, man, can you make the guitar part last a little longer? Because I was just getting into doing some special picks and stuff. I actually played the background music on my Gibson Pro guitar. Yeah, I did that. I think it turned out pretty good. Oh, yeah. It is smelling so good in here. Man, yeah. Ah, here we go. Oh, yeah. Nice, peaceful, quiet. I did my grocery shopping. I still have to do some dishes and some laundry. And I want to sweep and mop the kitchen floor and the breezeway floor. But I went shopping, spent $40 on Callie the Killer Calico Cat. I bought 2 bags of food, which were $7.99 a piece. So that's, you know, $16 plus tax right there. So figure, might as well round it up to 20 when you figure his $5 collar that I got him. That's like $22. And then it was $13 for litter. By the time everything was said and done, it was like $40. But if you own an animal, you owe it to that animal to take care of it. That means cleaning its cage or cleaning its litter box, making sure it has fresh litter, making sure that it's fed, it's watered, making sure that it has all of the necessary veterinary visits, the necessary shots, making sure it has good food, you know, and yeah. And that's one of the reasons I would love to own a dog. Brad the Bearded Piper probably isn't watching, but that's okay. I would love to have a dog. Now, Brad, I think, gets to work from home, maybe. I don't know, sometimes. But, he has many dogs. They're show dogs. Check out Brad the Bearded Piper. Great guy. Not too far from me. Yeah, within easy driving distance, within a few hours. He's out of PA. And but, I'd love a dog, but thing is dogs require a lot of care. So I'm going to have to wait till I retire. Now, when I was growing up and stuff like that, we had a family dog, but there was always somebody at home to let the dog out, to do the, I'm gone 10 hours a day. Right? No way. First of all, the dog's going to get lonely. Second of all, I can't expect an animal to hold when it has to go to the bathroom for 10 hours. I can't do it, so I wouldn't expect my pet to. And then, of course, a dog requires, a lot of brushing, a lot of walking. You got to walk them in the morning, in the evening. They require that, and I just don't. Being by myself, I can't do it. Callie the Killer Calico Cat is not going to walk the dog. But when I retire, I'm going to reward myself with a purebred German Shepherd. You're talking spending between $2,000 and $3,000 on a really good German Shepherd breed, and that's what I want. A nice female one, or maybe a male. I don't know. The female ones, when they urinate on the grass, they've got something in their urine that kills the grass and has a horrible smell. So maybe it'll be a male. I don't know. We'll see. I got a while to go. yeah. The cigar and this beer is great. That's his first cigar I've smoked in probably about 3 months. And it's good. It's just really good, man. You can feel that nicotine. Definitely. Oh, yeah. So I've got some vacation days and I've got some sick days, but I'm not going to use them right now. We got work, a lot of work at work. So it's no time to be taken off. And, I'm not one to go on a week-long or 2-week-long vacation anyways. I like staycations, like where you take a Thursday and Friday off and then you have Saturday and Sunday off too. You kind of milk your time off. But, if I had, a significant other or whatever, who knows? But I don't. Well, about rounds it up for our Sunday smoke together. I'm going to finish the rest of this cigar. Check on my pulled pork, see how it's doing. Oh, yeah. I'm Paul the Pipe Guy, live from the outskirts of Rochester, New York. Over and out.